I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl DYANAROZAY, and I'm still getting things organized over here. But I am here, and we are here to talk about Belle Collective. This is actually season 7, episode 6. But welcome, 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 everyone. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Y'all know it's the cookout. So let me know what your side dishes are in the chat, okay? Who got the potato salad, the baked beans? Baby, I want a little dressing, okay? Not stuffing, dressing. Let me know what you got. The banana pudding, who got it? The mojitos, who's on the bar? Let me know, let me know. Okay, come on in, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Let me get my other screen up real quick. Hold on, hold on. Here we go, here we go. It's the cookout, baby. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you guys. I see the potato salad is here. The potato salad is here. Cousin Dyrese brought the potato salad. Uh-oh, Bama girl got the potato salad and the baked beans. All right, nice to have you. What is up, Estes Bonita? Nice to have you. What's up, Queen T? Nice to have you. Bama girl, what's up, what's up, what's up? I got Clone in the house. Y'all, Clone is my real sister. We got the same mama, same daddy, okay? Lies more lies. She said, morning, says, I haven't watched the episode yet to give my opinion. Well, you can listen, baby girl. Listen to what I am sharing, and then you come back and talk to me in the comments and let me know what you think about everything, okay? I do need everybody to take the poll at the top of the chat too. Okay, let me know who you think wore the crown in this episode. Was it Tambra or was it Tisha? Because Tisha played a number at the end of this episode, and I'm going to tell you guys all about it between her and Glenn, because baby, I did not know Glenn had a God-given gift. The way his nostrils flared open like he was one of the dragons. Like he was one of the dragons from Game of Thrones. Oh my goodness. I said, Tisha girl, you in danger, baby. He about to blow some fire on your ass right now. Okay. Woo. We'll get there though. Y'all going ahead, hit that like button, share the video, please, and thank you. If you are new here as a subscriber, welcome y'all, because I've been getting a lot of newbies and I appreciate y'all. Y'all know I love my cousins. Okay, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Also, if you're not a subscriber, become one, okay? Because we like to talk shit and eat and drink and all the things, okay? So come on in, come on in. The other thing I wanted to share with y'all, let me get my lipsticks up. Y'all know people always ask me, they'll send me like DMs over there on IG, like, girl, what color was you wearing? You know what I'm saying? So I said, y'all, I'm not going to gatekeep anymore. I have sent people like literally pictures, screenshots of my lipstick so that they would, you know, handle things. They can look cute over there. But I am wearing the lip bar. These are the two colors, okay? The colors are Prima Donna. This is Prima Donna, and Playmate is in the center. So I always like use 2 or 3 lip colors, lip pencil, the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, go ahead and do that. This is a Black-owned business. Her name is Melissa Butler. I actually talked about her. I made a post on my community wall if y'all want to get to know her. But she was on Shark Tank and they tried to dog her out over there. And now she has a whole line that's sold damn near everywhere. So if you want to buy it, go on ahead and pick up these 2. But she has a whole bunch. This is a matte color, by the way. And I just love it to pieces, okay? You said, no, you saw that clip online. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, let's get into it, y'all. I got my notes ready. So rate, Go ahead and hit that crown or clown at the top, and let's get into the scene. It opens with Miss Latrice. Latrice is hosting a community food drive over there at her restaurant, and she's invited all of the Belles, including Tisha, because y'all know her and Tisha made up, you know what I'm saying? And as soon as Tisha gets there, they don't skip a beat. They are like two, old shoes just getting together, right? But they're all there. And Treese do let the girls know that she squashed the beef with Tisha. Now, I did say they were all there. Not everybody's there. Actually, Carrie isn't there. She's in Atlanta doing something. And there's some people that come in that's like scragglers, okay? Come on in, come on in. You said that you love Muse and Playmate. It's a beautiful thing. And this stays on all day. Like even when you wash your face, you got to get them lips extra, you know what I'm saying? Because it does not move. So excellent product. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Cliff is in a room with the girls, it's Selena and some others. And Cliff said that he has not talked to Glenn at all since everything went down with him accusing them of, with him accusing them of, ruining his marriage, right? And he said, but he has no problem talking to him now. He has no problem with talking to Glenn if he shows up at the food drive. And Latrice said, what are y'all going to talk about? And Cliff said, the weather. Okay, what the fuck you think I'm going to talk about? Cliff is hilarious. Cliff said, the weather. Okay, I don't have time for this. Y'all know Cliff is old. Anyway, after all of that, the state rep for Alabama was at the taste, also local news, and they were all, giving Latrice her props for, still putting in the community, not forgetting where she came from. Latrice said, listen, when I was a kid, I was one of those people who was trying to figure out where my next meal was coming from. So I am not ashamed about it at all. I am here now. And it is my God-given, I need to do this. God told me to make sure that people stay fed and healthy. So she asked all the Belles to contribute, and people were driving up with their cars. All they had to do was pop their trunk, and they put food in the back of their trunks. I think turkeys and a jug of water. And that's really good because y'all know there's a lot of waste that happens at restaurants. So the fact that she was thinking to do this, I was really impressed by. I really am impressed by their level of charity, I have to say. I think they do a good job, and also Married to Medicine. Like you do want to incorporate that every season. You know what I'm saying? It just reminds people, get out there and do your part. You know what I mean? Come on in, come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You brought the classic white cake. All right, baby, we need it. I'll put it over there on the picnic table. Put it on the picnic table. All the food is ready. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, after that, hold on, child. I'm losing my damn notes. After that, that's when Tisha walks in. And as soon as she came up, like I said, just like nothing ever happened, walked right on up to Latrice. They hugged and everything. And she was like, oh, we're going to keep it cordial. Child, you missed your friend. Okay, you could tell that Letitia missed her damn friend. Like I said, didn't miss a beat. Didn't miss a beat. Anyway, Letitia does say off camera or in her confessional that she hasn't talked to Glenn about how he acted a plum monkey over at her photo shoot. So she said her and Glenn been walking through the house like passing ships in the night, okay? And she said she's finally invited him to have the conversation. So they're going to go to dinner in public. They're going to go to dinner somewhere. But she said they'll do that after the food drive, right? Tambra is the other person who came into the event a little bit late, but she's doing Tambra things, right? In her confessional, she's asked about her father, and she said that he's doing much better. He's doing much better, but as soon as she leaves this event, she's headed right back over to the hospital to check on her daddy, okay? Marie is the last person to show up, baby. She said that her grandkids had their first basketball game, and she wasn't going to miss it. Not for this, not for the TV show, not for nothing. But she happened to pull in when the last car pulled out. When the last car pulled out. But she said, better late than never. Take this food any damn way, just in case you have a scraggler who comes in here and they're looking for something, you can take mine. Then she looks over and she sees Tisha and she said, when'd you get here? What's going on with this? And they catch her up, baby, we good again, okay? You don't have anything to worry about. And she said, bitch, where's Carrie? Because I told that heifer to stay out y'all business. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. And if people would just stop being nosy and interfering and basically breaking y'all down even further before you get started, y'all would have made up anyway. Because I know you, I know what you guys are about. She wasn't lying. She wasn't lying, okay? Come on in, come on in. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you. You said true friends will be there when those knuckleheads are on the street. That's true. If you have a true friend, even though your friend might throw you away when she's trying to fix that marriage, when it's all said and done, y'all should be able to get back together lock step, right? With no issues, no issues. And that's a fact. At least that's how it's always played out in my relationships. Anyway, Tisha ends up telling all the girls while they were there that she is holding a get together for the Bells and that they all need to dress in funeral clothes. Okay, going ahead and put your funeral outfits on, baby, because we got to get some issues together and we're going to lay them to rest, right? And now all the girls is like rolling their eyes like, why are we doing this? This is, like they said, I think this is what Tree said in the last episode. Tisha is good for a reset, a new start, whatever it has to do with the Bells. Bitch, just let us be. You the main one who's causing all of the problems. But they all roll their eyes like, damn, I hope this don't have anything to do with me because I am tired of y'all, okay? Why can't we just enjoy the fact that y'all got over the hump? We don't need to do this, right? They ain't lying. I agree with them. Anyway, everybody ends up leaving after they get their orders, except for Tisha. She said she's waiting on Glenn if he decides to show up so that her and Glenn can, square the rest of the tension away with Latrice and also with Cliff Woodstock, right? And Tisha said that she hasn't been out or to taste since they got into a fight. And she said, this used to be me and Glenn's hangout. So it feels weird to be back in here because I haven't been out with Glenn since we all got into it. We haven't done anything. We haven't been no damn where. And now she's finally out. And she's like, pour me a drink or something. I am happy to be here, right? Anyway, Glenn ends up walking in and look, when he comes in, the entire thing gets awkward. Everybody's energy gets awkward. He hugs his wife and then he goes over, he hugs Treese. And y'all know Trim and Treese was like, I gives you nothing except the peace sign. But she was actually real receptive when Glenn comes in. She's like, hey, Glenn, she gives him a little side hug. Then Glenn goes over, do the brother man shake with Cliff. And he goes and sits down, but he's awkward, like really energy awkward. So that's how I know that this was a real thing between them, because you can't fake that kind of energy. Glenn's not an actor. You know what I'm saying? He's nobody's Michael B. Jordan or Denzel Washington or nobody. He's really giving, what's coming for me next? Because he doesn't know, right? Anyway, Treese ends up telling Tisha, let's give the men a chance to have their conversation, and you and I go to the bar, right? So they leave the two of them out there. And Glenn tells Cliff that he has a lot of mixed feelings right now. He doesn't even know what to say because you was my friend. I loved you, man. You was like my big unk. You were the person I came to for advice. And you really let me down when you weren't in my corner with the shit that went down with Amanda. Like, I was really expecting you to step up and speak like you always do. There's never been a moment where some things didn't go down and you wasn't, rah for me. Okay. So he said, that shocked me. And I didn't know how you felt about me after that. Basically, that's what he's saying to him. You just let me down and I didn't know what was going on. And Cliff said, listen, I had my wife's back. And really, this is the crazy part. He said, I had my wife's back. And just because you don't know how to protect your wife doesn't mean I don't know how to protect mine. And Cliff literally says, what you did took away from us, from our friendship, blaming me, blaming my wife because of your wayward ways. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't know how to keep your in your pants. You wanted to take that to a woman that knows my wife and your wife. You weren't using your noodle. And I'm not here to help your grown ass figure that out. You got to know how to do that on your own. Not to mention the fact I'm not a young man anymore. Okay. I'm 70 some years old. I need to go to sleep at night. I need to rest. I don't know. You'll figure it out when you get here. But at a certain age, some of that just got to stop. And it stops with me and you. I'm never gonna put you over my good rest in the evenings. Okay, I eat dinner around 4, 5 o'clock, and then I'm in the bed around 7. Okay, yes, and I just want to say, I've had a lot of male mentors in my life. I don't know how it happened; it just happened. But every single one of them said the same shit. Okay, listen, there's a way that men act. Okay, and usually they out there in them streets until the good Lord say stop. Until the good Lord say it's time for your ass to slow down. Okay. Nature will take its course. And that killed me because that's what Cliff actually said. Baby, I prioritize sleep over chaos. And you're never bringing that kind of chaos into my house. Period. So when my wife says this is a problem for her, it's a problem for me too. Uh-oh. So anyway, he said, I understand. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, this is Glenn. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, do you really? Now in confessional, Cliff said, I got a slow walk with Glenn. Things happen. I'm happy that we can talk and heal, but I'm never going to take his side when it comes to my wife. That's what he says here. He also made the comment, I hope he's learned from his mistakes, but he knows better. Glenn hasn't learned a damn thing. Okay. Glenn just wants somebody to be on his side, even though he is as wrong as two left shoes. And we know this because he's never properly apologized to Tisha. And what he really should have done in the scene is say, you know what? Even when he says to him, listen, man, my wife called me when I was in Colombia, okay, drinking mojitos on the beach. She calling me screaming, saying that you were in her face. When Glenn heard him say that, he makes a comment. He says something like, I would never do that. I'm not that kind of man. But you are that kind of man. That's number one. But number two, if he really wanted to square things away, he would have said, hold on right there. Because I do want to apologize to Treese for whatever she thought might have happened. Because you got to get over the humps. Tisha and Latrice squashed their beef, but you haven't squashed your beef, not with your wife and not with the women that thought you were out of pocket. This is how you handle yourself. You still got to go over and say, I apologize. Sometimes you just got to swallow it. So if you're sitting there willing to squash the beef with Cliff, I was like, this makes Glenn look like a punk. Okay. It made him look like a punk to me. Anyway, hold on, child. I keep losing my way. After that, we get a scene of Treese. Oh, hold on. No, nope. Let's back it up. Glenn starts whining because that's what he's doing. He's whining and he says, listen, I can't catch a break. Everybody is coming after me. I don't know what to do. I don't know up from down. I don't know, left from right from wrong. And he says he gets into a whole fight at Tisha's photo shoot. I got into a fight at my wife's photo shoot with a man named First, right? And he's telling Cliff about it. And Cliff is looking at him like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? But Cliff says, is First gay? Like, what would you be fighting another man for? What would you be fighting another man for at your wife's event? It's a photo shoot. What was going on there that made that situation happen? And then Glenn said, I don't know, but he did call me sexual chocolate. And I guess that breaks the ice for them a little bit. They start laughing. It was full of shit to me. But again, it's one of those things, if you are paying attention to Cliff, there's only so much he can take. He listens, he giggles, and he's done. He's not giving, he's going to give you a little advice, and the advice is going to be calm your ass down. That's it. Okay. He did start the fight. Anyway, at the bar, Tisha, I keep forgetting lines. There also is a moment where Treese brings drinks in to Cliff and Glenn. And she comes and she puts the drinks on the table. Glenn literally says, let's switch. He switches the drinks like Treese poisoned him or something. He was like, I don't know. See, he even knew enough to say, your wife is so mad at me. She might have put something in my drink. She might have spit in it or something. Again, why not just go over and apologize? I don't know. I just thought that was such a cop-out. All right, now back at the bar. At the bar, Tisha asked Treese if she really asked her husband to stop talking to Glenn, her husband. And Treese said, hell yeah. If you and I have a problem, there's no way those two are going to be friends. Facts. She said, baby, me and Cliff are gang. Might not have always been that way, but that man is at an age now that when I tell him to jump, he asks me how high. And that is what it is. I don't care. And yeah, Tisha's like, okay, I understand. And then Tisha tells Treese that for this event that they're going to have, this funeral for the Belles, she wants the two of them to be on the same page now that they're friends, right? I want us to be on the same page. So what do you want to happen out of this meeting? And Treese says the biggest point is that she needs everybody to feel comfortable enough to tell their side. Whatever it is, we shouldn't be jumping down people's throat, making them feel uncomfortable about their position, because you and I just came out of some shit like that, right? And that's true. That's true. He said that Cliff definitely stepped up this season. He did. Anyway, now we are at the next scene, and it is Marie and her stepdaughter, Amber. Amber is in college, child, and she is home from I guess, Christmas break or whatever. And she has the afro for the gods, okay? An afro for the gods, walking into the sipping paint, her and Miss Marie. And she sits down and she says, so what is going on with you and Mr. Cedric? Now, mind you, this child has all of Cedric's face, except for the beard, but she got Cedric's face. You know what I'm saying? That is her daddy for sure. No denying it. She said, what's up with you and Cedric? And she went, yo, daddy. Marie said, yo, daddy. She said, yes, my father. What's going on with the two of y'all? And Marie said that she was blindsided and betrayed by them for the 19th time. Okay. She said, this time I'm not going back. But I had no idea that he was going to do this to me. And Amber said, well, I did. You should have asked me, because I knew. I don't know what you think is going on with Cedric over there, but that man is in them streets. He's for the streets. He's for the streets. And you need to figure this out once and for all, okay? She said, my dad is a good father. I appreciate the women who laid down with him and brought us into the world, but he's not a good partner. And for now, all of y'all need to leave that man alone. I don't know what he is dishing over there between them thighs, but go on ahead and get yourself some good holy water. Douse yourself with it. Morning, noon, and night, child. Anytime you get a hot flash or a memory, go on ahead and sprinkle that all over yourself so that you can leave that man alone before he gives you something that you can't walk away from. You understand? Period. Okay? And Marie sat there trying to paint with her mouth open like, this little girl is reading me for filth. And she absolutely was. Okay? Absolutely was. Then Marie said, well, you know, I am trying because I do want to have a relationship. I'm looking for something new, something that I could, you know, move into the next level with, a forever mate. And she said, you should be proud of me. I done put myself out on these damn dating websites. I'm on a few blogs. I got a few profiles out there. And that little girl scratched her head like this. She went, who are you? How is a woman that's shaped like a damn Coca-Cola bottle, got 9 health officers, got all this shit going on. How are you so slow? Anyway, this little girl ends up schooling Marie and said, baby, ain't nothing on a dating website except leftovers. That's the slim pickings. That's the men that other women don't want. They are sitting around in their undies, eating potato chips, scratching their, you know what, sniffing their fingers. Baby, go on ahead and leave those mofos alone. You don't need that either. You might as well go back to my daddy if that's what you're going to do. Oh my God. Marie, why don't you get yourself in one of them damn onesies that you like to wear? Okay, get yourself dialed up and go on down to the country club, to the golf course, to some sort of charity event where high caliber men are. This ain't it. Okay, but she looked at Marie for a good long minute like, what is wrong with you? Okay. That actually tickled me. Anyway, Marie swallowed hard, like, okay, baby girl, you might be onto something. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And Marie even liked my comment when I saw the clip. I said, Marie, you better listen to that baby because she knows some things. Marie actually liked my comment, like, yes, she do. She sure do. Okay. Anyway, that was how that scene ended. Marie and Amber. Let's move on to Tisha and Glenn. This is where Glenn's his other gifts shows up. I had no idea that Glenn was part dragon, but baby, the way his nose started off this way and then flared so wide, I knew fire was going to come out that damn and burn everything on Tisha's side of the table. He was about to tear her ass up. Okay. Yes, the stepdaughter is really cute. I really enjoyed seeing her with her stepdaughter and for her stepdaughter to be that serious. Okay. I loved it. Anyway, so Tisha is there. She said that she wanted to meet Glenn for dinner to discuss him showing up and acting a fool at her photo shoot. Okay. She said that she is, trying to make it to that next level and she doesn't understand what the hell Glenn has going on in his head. So they end up sitting out on the patio where it was just the two of them. And they ordered everything in the damn kitchen: rotisserie chicken, French fries, pork chops, lamb chops. What else? String beans, potato salad, you name it. It was all over the table. Okay. Anyway, Tisha tells Glenn, that was a whole lot. What you did to me at my photo shoot was a whole lot, Glenn. And Glenn tells Tisha, you need to control your people. Okay. Tisha said, well, that's why I'm trying to keep what I have going on separate from what you got going on, Glenn. I don't even want you a part of this because I'm trying to walk upright and you still crawling on all fours, motherfucker. Okay. Because I know you don't have what it takes to handle what I'm trying to do next. So why don't you just sit your ass out? I'm adding to this, but this is what she tells him. You weren't supposed to be there no way, right? Glenn tells Tisha, you need to fire first immediately. And that's on period. Tisha says, first was absolutely wrong for how he handled you. And I have put him on a leave of absence, okay, to let him know I don't appreciate that. And Glenn looked at Tisha like she was dumb as a bag of rocks, okay? He said, a leave of absence? A motherfucker who gets 10% of what you make, he gets paid whether he's standing there or not, Tisha. Leave of absence doesn't mean anything. You fire that man. He disrespected me. Not to mention the fact, if I had someone in my camp that did some shit like that to you, it wouldn't even be a question. I would have to fire him. You would demand it. I wouldn't even let you ask me that shit. And you know that, Tisha. Okay? Wouldn't even be in question. Glenn says, it seems like everybody in your camp, though, has this real bad impression of me. They want me to be the bad guy. They're labeling me, and you seem to be okay with this shit. Well, Glenn, that's because she is telling everybody on her team who you are. Okay. Now everybody knows you keep your inside business inside. But Tisha is literally lining her ducks up right now. And this is what women do when they're ready to make an exit. I'm going to have to tell everybody so I can see their reaction to what I'm saying to them in their face, because I might not know. I have done this shit for so long with you that I don't know what my bottom is. So I have to tell it to other people so they can look at me like, bitch, you crazy. That's the only way I know how to measure nutty now when it comes to you. So Tisha doesn't say that, but she definitely is helping it along, because we already heard her tell the manager, her investor actually last week, is you trying to get my goodies? Are you trying to get into my goodies? Because my husband said you wouldn't be investing in me if it wasn't because you was trying to get to my goodies. Okay. You want the panties, not your percent. Now that was low down to say, but she did say it. And she doesn't even mince words. She just spills it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said she doesn't even know to be embarrassed. She doesn't know. Anyway, he said, I don't know why everybody's treating me shitty. Why isn't anyone coming to my corner? Why isn't anybody saying anything to me? Okay, I expect something. Then he told her, not only is it coming from strangers that I don't know, that I've met for the first time ever, it's also coming from people that's a friend of yours that I consider family, that has sat in my house, ate my food, drank my fucking drink. Why is Shantae coming out of pocket with me? Why are you allowing this, Tisha? None of y'all thought that first was wrong? I ain't saying you got to defend me, but I am saying it would have been nice if one of y'all, while I was standing there, would have said, you know what, first you out of pocket. Tisha says again, that's why I put him on a leave of absence. Okay? Don't worry about how I handle my business. Just know I'm handling it, Glenn. And then she said, none of this would have happened if your ass wouldn't have been there in the first place. Now, Tisha, you are right. Glenn should not have been there. But I'm going to tell you something. You and Glenn are so used to acting a fool together. Both of y'all are toxic as both of you. But you two are so used to acting a fool together. Like I said, you don't even know how to handle yourself, because you knew that man had your location. That's what he said in the confessional last week. We share location. So I popped up. He's doing what he thinks is normal for y'all, because a real bitch would have gotten in the car that day and said, let me turn this motherfucking location off so that Glenn's ass won't pop up here. Because it's not like that's the first time. That's what he does every single time. So when you started pulling back and grabbing your heart like, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, honey, the second you saw him, you knew that that's what he does. And you should have already stopped it. You were talking about that man the entire time. It would have took you 2 seconds to turn off that location. He did what he thought he was supposed to do. He did the dance that you two are used to doing. And I'm going to put that out there, because I know a lot of people are like, well, it's about time. Nope. Until Letitia decides to drive different, it's always going to be the same. And he says that even in the scene. You are making me wrong for some shit I've been doing for 25, 30 years. What happened that was different all of a sudden? He's not lying. I forgot to bring that shit up last week, but half of you should have turned that damn location off. And don't say you didn't remember, because that's the first thing you should have thought of the second you walked out. Because not only was that a problem for you, it was a problem for everybody there. He already told you that he didn't like that man and he didn't know nothing about him. But he already told you that. So what was you expecting? Anyway, long story short, Tisha goes on to say, listen, I'm stuck between you and Shantae. This is my first time ever experiencing this level of interest in me. I didn't know which way to go. I didn't know which way to turn. I'm thinking about my opportunities, the things that God has placed in my lap. I'm not thinking about you and your damn bruised ass feelings, Glenn. Okay? When y'all asses, You shouldn't have been there in the first place. And that I stand on. Y'all ain't going to ruin my opportunities. And Glenn is sitting there, nostrils growing as big as saucers, baby. By the time it's done, he has 2 moons on his damn face. That's how big his nostrils got, right? Tisha ends up saying, Glenn, you keep coming at me, but I didn't put you in the position that you got in with first. You popped up looking for a problem and your ass found one. Facts on facts on facts. But again, Tisha, you got to take some credit for that shit, right? And then Tisha got so pissed off that she sweated out the glue on her damn lace front. That shit started lifting up and Tisha started sweating. And she said, I'm sorry. I didn't make my moment about your asses, okay? I'm sorry. I wanted to elevate. I'm sorry. I don't bow down to your ass anymore. I'm sorry for wanting to become everything God wants me to be. Okay? Then she said, bitch, here, Glenn, here's your flowers. Go on ahead and take these damn green beans. Take my rotisserie. Here. She started shoving all the food at Glenn. Baby Glenn was sitting there like this. He looks off to the side like, bitch, I'm leaving. Like you could see everything in Glenn's face. Glenn wanted to spit at Tisha. Like I said, if he could be that dragon, he would have burned Tisha the fuck down. Tisha wouldn't have got another sorry out of her mouth. He went, who in the is this? Okay? Tisha says, I don't want, listen, I didn't ask you for shit and I don't want nothing else from you except for you to be my husband. Why can't you just be my husband? She screams this out. They were, like I said, on the patio. However, I know everybody inside that damn restaurant. I know they was like, what is going on over there? Okay. In confessional, Glenn said, I am stunned. I am stunned by how Tisha is coming at me. I have never seen her talk to me like this a day in our entire marriage, okay? Not to this degree. Now, we might have gotten into a fight. She might have talked back. But this right here, this is a first. I've never seen Tisha do this. Tisha tells Glenn that everything in her life for the last 25, 30 years since they've been dating in high school has come 4th or 5th place to Glenn. I have always put your ass first in front of everything. And you don't seem to get it, okay? She said, I would think, Glenn, that by now you would have wisened up about me. I should have divorced you 8, 9, 10, 11 times by the fuck now. You shouldn't even be here. You and I shouldn't be a thing, okay? But I need you to know that I am no longer under your thumb, okay? Tisha said, the days of you walking over and over me, okay? Or excuse me, walking on top and over me are over. I'm never letting you do that shit again. And whoever that heifer was that let you do all that shit to her, I never want to see her again. How about that? She's dead and buried. This is a new Letitia. Glenn said, and I quote, I miss her dearly. He said, the old Letitia, I miss her dearly. Where's she at, boo? Give me a shovel, dig her right up. Dig her up now, okay? Put her back in the seat, and this, whoever this is, get the stepping. I can't stand this bitch. I don't know who this hoe is. She go. In confessional, Glenn said that him and Tisha are not on the same page. They're not in the same room. They're not on the same planet. I don't know who she is. And if this shit is happening, it is time for me to focus on me. I don't want no parts of this new Letitia. I'm about to do my own fucking thing. Glenn said, I have no desire to be with this Letitia. None. Okay. Now I was talking about, I said, listen, Glenn, if you want to hold on to that girl, you're going to have to let her grow. Let her grow or let her go. Child, in this scene, he said, I'd rather let her go because I don't want this kind of marriage. Okay. Then Glenn code switches in the scene. He code switches. Glenn turns into this professional white man. Okay. He had this professional white man voice. And he said, Letitia, we have been rocking like this for the last 25 or 30 years. This is what I know. This is what we've always done. And I don't see what the problem is, okay? I don't understand. You want something different, but I don't understand what we did wrong to even get here. So he still doesn't get it. And Tisha just rolls her eyes and said, Glenn, just let me shoot my shot, okay? Just let me shoot my own shot one damn time. And then Glenn says, again in the same professional white man voice, you can shoot that mother to the moon. Shoot your shot to the moon, bitch, because I'm off the train. I'm not doing this with you anymore. Woo! Solid 10 out of 10, okay? Come on in, come on in. What did you say? You said she'll be back in 48 hours. Yeah, it was a scene. It was a scene, baby. I have to say, I don't think, I know we all talk about how they have this dance every season. I don't think we've seen them rock it out quite like this. Okay. This is absolutely brand new. Good job. Good job, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Yes. Go back and listen, child. He went from breathing fire to Letitia. I don't even know who the fuck you are right now, but if this is what you need from me, cool. He put on his professional white man voice, the one he gives to the bosses at the docks, okay? It was absolutely hilarious. All right, let's move on to Selena and Mike, okay? Hit the like button, share the video, all the things. Anyway, Selena is at Mike's house. Y'all know Mike and Selena actually have two separate houses. She lives in hers, even though she said he's at her house all of the time. But today, she done used her key to get into this man's house. And I guess she went probing around and looking for things, because that's what I would do. But, excuse me, she's in his bedroom folding laundry, you know what I'm saying? And he walks in, she can hear the door chime. And he goes, who up in here? And she's like, I'm back here, babe. And he goes walking back there. And he sees her folding laundry and he loves it. He loves the idea of her being domesticated in his house. He said, this is exactly what I want to see. Yo ass folding laundry. Selena, oh, God, I hate that for you. Anyway, even though Selena told us last episode that Marie telling her that Mike needs to get rid of that apartment does not bother her, she has no worries, and that, Marie needs to take her bitter ass on somewhere just because things didn't work out with her and said, clearly everything that Marie said has, stuck, because now she's coming to Mike with her insecurities. And she tells Mike, what you about to do with this place? Because this is the house that you and your ex used to live in, right? And I don't like this motherfucker. So what's your plans for it? How soon are you going to put it on the market? How soon are you going to rent it? What is it? I just want you to get rid of it. I don't want this house to be a place you can come back to if you and I have problems, because it'll never get resolved, right? And Mike is sitting there. He goes, well, what's really going on, okay? He said, I'm not really trying, in so many words, he said, I'm not really trying to make you feel better about this because this is your insecurity. We good, okay? But he says, I need you to see the bigger picture. There's nothing wrong with me having my own property, right? And Selena's like, well, we should have our own house. We're making a future for ourselves together. This house is a problem. I need you to see it that way. Anyway, Selena also says, are we still getting married? If you keep this house, are we still getting married? And Mike squints and looks at her and goes, what does this conversation have to do with us getting married? Like, what are you doing? What are you saying? Selena is talking to him with a smile on her face for the most part, but she's also giving him an ultimatum, and she's not giving it in real black and white. You know what I'm saying? But she's like, are we still getting married? He's like, why would you ask me that? You do all of these things to get me here, Selena. I'm here, and now you're on a whole nother page. Selena has already shared that Mike is a man of few words. He doesn't tell her a lot. So she's already starting off this wedding on the wrong note. You either are okay with him not talking to you, or you are. Because it sounds like he makes decisions without you all of the time. And he doesn't like to be told what to do. And you've been accepting of that. And that's the Selena he likes. So I don't know. Even though I really like Selena, I think she's a smart woman. There's something funky about her and Mike's relationship. I'm going to say that. I don't like it, okay? You said Todd would say, keep the apartment. Yeah, Todd went and remodeled that home in New Jersey that Candy said, you need to get rid of this mother, because I don't trust you. And I don't want to go back to an apartment that you used to have your old girlfriends in. And Todd said, I will never get rid of this apartment. Okay, what I'm going to do is decorate this entire thing with your money. That was funny. Anyway, the scene ends with Mike basically saying, I'm not giving up my apartment. I don't even know what this is about, or his house. I don't even know what it's about. And you're going to have to talk through your insecurities and figure it out that it's your problem. Okay, it's your problem. Anyway, last scene is the funeral. Okay. And all of the Bells meet up at some location. I don't know where, child. But everybody arrives in their fascinators, okay, with their lace over the front of their face, and hell, they gloves and diamonds on, and they're dressed in black, and they're dressed to the nines. And everybody looks amazing, except for Carrie Paul, who came in as some sort of sexy Jessica Rabbit in a leather dress. I mean, she has this red hair, and she has on a dress that is so high it meets the crotch, with a pair of lace net stockings. So when she walks in the door, everybody said, bitch, well, this is a funeral. Why are you looking like that? Are you trying to entice the pastor? Where is the prayer cloth? Put it over her knees. Put it over her knees, her thighs, hit everything. Give me the whole tablecloth, child. You are underdressed for this event. It's just us, girl. You got problems at home? Why are you dressed like this? Why are you dressed like this? Okay. Anyway, Carrie said, listen, child, if I'm not going to do anything else, I'm going to come in late and I'm going to have on a wig and something to make you hoes talk, because I don't have that many problems in my life. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, in confessional, Tisha said that she wants to set the rules for a new collective. Okay. We're going to bury the old and we're going to rebirth a new collective. And again, why? The collective were doing exactly what they were supposed to do. Y'all are going to have fights, but every single one of those girls did the right thing. When you and Treese were fighting, they said, we're not in it. We are still going to be friends with both of y'all. And they encouraged the two of y'all to mend your issues. That is the proper way to be a collective. That's the right way. But I don't know. She acts like they're never supposed to have a problem. So she said, this is a rebirth and a renew. Okay, we're going to bury the old. We're going to bury the old. And then she sets the rules of engagement. She tells the collective that from this point forward, this collective is going to be rooted in trust, truth, accountability, and purpose. Everything that the first collective was actually rooted in. The first, the second, the third, the 12th, the 20th. You are bringing your personal BS to the group when all that group did was heal you. That's exactly what they were supposed to do. Anyway, I have a problem when people do shit like that. I've been in these kind of friendship groups and I'm like, girl, this was not us. This was you. This was you. But anyway, they all entertain Tisha by getting dressed up and sitting around this damn table like Nino Brown. Okay, everybody jumping rope with chains and shit with big rock rollers on the side. It was dumb. Anyway, Tisha decides that now that she's healed and she's gotten everything out with her husband, how she feels about him, she now wants to pick on Tambra. Going ahead and take that poll at the top of the chat because this is important. The way she turned all of her energy on Tambra when Tambra has not done anything to anybody, when she hasn't done anything to anybody, but she said, let's start with you, girl, because you already telling us that you about to leave. I understand you got to leave early. And Tambra said, I do. My baby has hit her first program over there at the school, and I'm not going to miss it for you hoes. This is something that we do every season, at least 50 times a damn season. Okay? So why would I miss my daughter doing her first program for some bullshit? Again, she's not lying. She's not lying. But that's not all that Letitia wanted from Tambra. Tisha said, I need your thoughts on the collective. What do you think about us and about the sisterhood? Tambra said, listen, I don't think we're a sisterhood. I think we're just the hood. Okay, leave the sister part out of it. The bottom line is this isn't a safe place for a lot of us, okay? It damn sure isn't a safe place for me. Y'all tried to invite my stalker on this show. Y'all had meetings with this motherfucker. You were going to bring him on here to film with me to get a reaction. No. Now, she didn't say that, but I'm going to add it because I know that's what she was thinking, okay? She's just trying to be the bigger person and leave the bygone, the past in the past. But bitch, no. Y'all have done some dirty dog shit to me. Okay, not to mention that when I had my baby girl, and y'all know how hard that pregnancy was, but I also went through a terrible postpartum. And I would have expected the mothers in this sisterhood to call me, to ask me how I'm doing, to give me advice about how they got over the hump. But the only person I heard from is Treese. And she doesn't even have any damn kids. She called me all day, every day to ask me how I was doing, checking in on me constantly. She's really the only person in this group that I call a sister because you sure in the fuck ain't. Okay. And neither are you, Marie. You know what I'm saying? However, when all of y'all were saying that you didn't feel safe, because Heifer, let's not forget, just last episode, okay, just last season, that's all you were screaming was how, and she's telling this to Tisha, how you didn't feel safe with any of us. Who's a real friend? Who isn't? Right? But now you're questioning me, and I'm not there yet. So if you want me to feel safe here, you're going to have to do more to make me feel safe, because I really feel like I'm sharing all I need to share with you and everybody else. I actually was on her side. Anyway, Tisha's looking at her and she says, okay. Then Tisha says, are you willing to be more transparent in this group? Because no matter what is going on with me in my life, I'm expected, because she's breaking the fourth wall, even though she doesn't say cameras, doesn't matter what the fuck I got going on in my life. I'm expected to come in this damn group, show up and show out, tell my story about whatever's happening so that we can all grow from our experiences, because this is what the collective is about. Us coming in, being vulnerable and sharing, no matter how embarrassing, no matter, you know, how low things are for you, you talk about it in real time. That's what I do with Glenn. Now, while she's doing all of this, well, I should say that's what I do about Glenn, because we know that she brings her bullshit with Glenn to the group every season. But they all said, Tisha, everybody at the table said, girl, you done broke up with Glenn so many times. Who gives a shit? We expect this from you. So it's not like you're telling them something new. They all expect it from you, and they're probably asking, well, shit, what's new with y'all? You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't have anything different. But she asked her, she wants to be transparent. Anyway, Tambra says, listen, we need to look at this as a book. We all bring a chapter. And as you turn the pages of the book, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're going to have a slow moment, a lull, and sometimes you're going to have more going on. Just because, in other words, Tisha, what she was saying is, just because my life isn't full of drama like you and Glenn give every season, doesn't mean that I don't have something to offer. Marie doesn't have a lot of drama in her personal life, but what she brings to the table is her professional business. Now, this is what she said. Marie, who she don't even like Marie for the most part, but she said Marie brings her professionalism, what she has going on to the table. This person brings this to the table. We all bring something new, but what you're asking me to do is bring some bullshit drama to this group the way you bring bullshit drama to this group. And maybe that's just not my chapter in life, ho. Anyway, Tisha dogs her. And she said, I understand, but you bring the same book every season. You bring the same book every season. Now, Tambra, I'm going to say, girl, you kept your cool, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, Carrie ends up jumping into the mix, and Carrie said, she rings her bell. I hate to break this up, but are you asking Tambra to leave the collective? Is that what you want? I'm sorry. Y'all keep doing this dance back and forth. Are you telling her you want her out the collective? Tambra is sitting there, and you can tell that she's hurt, but she's just like, you know what? I'm not doing this with y'all. So she just kind of sits there quiet. And Tisha says, no, I'm not kicking her out. I'm telling her to step up. Are you able to step up? That's when Tambra gives her speech, child. Tambra said, I believe that everyone in this group, I believe that this group has purpose. That's how she started. I believe that this group has purpose, and everybody who's a part of anything wants to be a part of something that has purpose. Friendship, marriage, these type of groups, collective, your job, you want to be a part of something that has purpose. That's what I want to be a part of. Now, that's not enough for Tisha. So Tisha's still trying to pound on her like, well, girl, are you in or are you out? Are you able to share more? And that's when my girl, Tambra, picked up her damn program, okay, put it in her purse and said, ladies, this is when I leave, okay? And she turned her back on all of them and walked the fuck out. You make your decision about whether I stay or whether I go. But right now, I'm not going to give you this because I know what this shit is about. And whether you like it or not, Letitia, nobody brings it the way you and Glenn bring it. That's just your toxic ass relationship. And once you get out of that motherfucker, you will see that your life is as dry as everybody else. Your life is as dry as everybody else. And that's true. People who are toxic and have those toxic relationships, y'all really think that people live like that all day, every day? We do not. We do not, child. We meditate, we pray, we go to sleep on time. As soon as our head hit the pillow, child. As soon as our head hits the pillow, we're out like a light. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that's up with your eyeballs open big at 2 a.m. talking about you can't sleep because you got all your worries. You know what I'm saying? That's not everybody's life. It just isn't. It just isn't. Okay. Anyway, Latrice is like, I love Tambra. I think she is the epitome of what a Belle is supposed to be. She's my friend. She talks to me all the damn time. I love me some Tambra, and I don't think it's fair that we're calling her out specifically, right? And then Marie chimes in because she don't care about Tambra. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, one of the coldest walkouts that was on this show was when Marie tried to sidestep Tambra, and she pulled her to the side and tried to say, is there any way that we can, she was about to lay in on her, and Tambra tapped her on the shoulder. She said, see you later, baby. and walked right out the door. And walked right out the door, left that heifer hanging. I said, Tambra, Tambra dogged the hell out of Marie. But Marie said all Tambra wants is the prestige of being in the collective. She doesn't want to do the work that it takes to be in the collective. And Carrie said, well, excuse me, heifer, since we're talking about transparency, you still haven't told us why you and Cedric broke up. So if this is how you feel, you need to spill the beans. And that's what Marie said, heifer. You have been a fan of mine, as in a groupie, since the day you came on this platform, okay? Why don't you just take my fan? And she picked up a real fan and said, here, be a fan, bitch. Here's my fan, so continue to be a fan from Dr. Monroe. And Carrie was like, listen, I am a fan of yours. I am a fan of yours. Then she got up, she said, but I'm a fan of everybody. She went over and she started fanning everybody with Marie's fan. I'm a fan of hers, and I'm a fan of hers. And Marie was like, but you're really a fan of mine, bitch, from the day we started. Okay? Carrie said, listen, honey, you and I just like to spar. We have a verbal spar, and it's cool, but don't act like you don't get your life and you don't use me for a storyline. I see you, ho. Anyway, after all of that, because there really wasn't anything after that. After Tambra did that cold ass walkout, where she was like, if this isn't a good enough answer for you, I have nothing, because I'm not going to beg to stay a part of this bullshit. Okay? It is what it is. This is your group, honey. This is your group. But all of us isn't going to act a monkey the way you and Glenn do every week. Okay? That's just what it is. Anyway, after that, that's when Carrie sits down and she does her big one, child. She swallows hard because the production team said, baby, get that question out. We want to know if Mike has a baby on the side. And she said, since we're putting everything on the table, I ended up talking to Matt the other night, child. Y'all know we was doing a little pillow talk, and he said he was hanging out with all the guys, and that there's a rumor out there about Mike having a side baby. Is there anything you would like to share? Because what are you doing, girl? So she got it out in front of everybody, and everybody's like, are you crazy? And Selena makes a face like it could be true, to be honest, because of the way she looked guilty of something. But then she said, under no circumstances would she be with a man who had a side baby. If Mike has a side baby on her, there would be no relationship, no wedding. It's over. That's it, partner. And everybody just sat there. And then Latrice, who's her real good friend, because they already said that they was cool. Latrice said, I'm not paying for anybody's side baby, okay? I don't give a damn. I'm never paying for it. So, girl, if you do have a side baby on the side, you better get rid of it, okay? You better get rid of him, in other words. But yeah, that was it. That was the episode. Anyway, I told y'all to take this vote, so let's put it up. We are trying to find out who is the clown, or who wears the crown. Okay, did I say that right? Who wears the crown versus who wears the clown? Okay, so let me get this up for y'all. Let's check it out. Who's on whose side? And y'all can do it at home in the chat. Y'all can do it at home in the chat. Y'all can do it in the comment section if you were not a part of the live. Okay, so let me make this big and make myself small. Okay, so I asked y'all. Tisha asked Tambra to step up or step out of the collective. Whose side are you on? And 65% of y'all said Tambra. Her life just isn't full of drama. It doesn't mean she doesn't have something to offer the collective. She has businesses and other things that she does with charity. that could definitely be a contribution to the collective. While 35% of y'all said that you were on Tisha's side and that they need to have more Bells with issues. At the bottom end of the day, y'all don't think that Tambra steps up enough. All right. So that's it. That's the tea. Okay. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I do have to give y'all my scene snatcher. Y'all know I have to do all this stuff. I'm giving the scene snatcher to Tambra. It was between Glenn's nostrils and Tambra, and I chose Tambra. I didn't want Glenn to get, self-conscious. But I thought that Tambra walking out of that scene, I thought she handled herself well in the scene, especially because I thought Tisha was trying to provoke her. So knowing everything that we know, I think that she handled herself great. And I'm giving her the scene snatcher, okay? That's it. And that's it, y'all. That's it. Anyways, let me put my picture back up here. Thank you to everyone who came in and was a part of the review. Thank you to my sister for moderating. Thank you to all of y'all who came over to listen to me, child, because, I also want to thank Deshonda, who is one of my members. Thank you, baby. Deshonda the Fox. Thank you. She said, Diana, you make me weak reenacting these scenes, child. My mom should have put me in acting classes. Anyway, who else do I have? That's it. If you want to become a member, you can by clicking the link at the top of the chat. Also, make sure that you are following me on all platforms. That way you don't ever miss any of my videos. And we'll be back tomorrow. Okay, so if there's extra food here, go on ahead, wrap that up. Get your aluminum foil. Go on ahead and take that home with y'all. Don't bring me back no old leftovers for tomorrow's cookout. I want new dishes. I want new dishes because we'll be back tomorrow to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville and what they got going on, okay? Hit the like button, share the video, follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. And until the next time, bye-bye.